Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We will be momentarily starting this Extreme DRS Championship race. And we're heading over to the shores of Canada for a short qualifying session, followed by 35 full racing laps. I believe we've got about 15 drivers this evening. We've had a few pull out today. But I believe we are joined this evening by AMS Devon. He will be filling in for one of the Alfa Romeo drivers this evening. Just while we're waiting for it all to load, let's have a look at the championship standings. We'll start with the Extreme Driver Championship, being led currently by Bunny's Vengeance. In second place, BRT Jacob with 102 points, so he's 16 points behind Bunny's Vengeance, who's on 118. UJGC, one of the racers not driving tonight, he's on 99 points in third. ADHD Jaden with 73 points. DRS Syme, who is currently leading the Monday Night Championship, is currently in fifth place with 70 points. Joker in sixth place with 55. Ben Lane with 46. And then DRS Swanton with 36, Smugget 34, and Jens, I think that's Jens SO something, with 33, Leon T. Zhu with 12 with 28 points, and Ronnie with 16, Brad Mason 14, and TMK with 12. It looks as if one of the Alfa Romeos is just about to go out on track. We'll see if that's either Ben Lane or Devon. And of course, if you do have any questions, by all means feel free to ask them. Oh, it's actually Jens in the Ferrari, who's currently out on track. And whilst we're waiting for him to complete his outlap, we'll scooch over to the Pro-Am Driver Championships. At the moment, it's being led by Joker with 124 points, closely followed by Swanton with 116, and even closer behind him, DRS Smugget with 115. Then we have Ben Lane with 95, Kevin Ver with 56, TMK 51, Easy Life 45, Ninja with 44, Ronnie with 43, and Keith LUFC 19 with 34. Pretty sure Senna should be within that remit as well, but I can't see him currently. But never mind. Evening Bazza 1610, and the J who says, who's your favourite driver for tonight? I wouldn't put it past DRS Syme to win this Grand Prix. He looked very, very quick on Monday night, but I appreciate it is a bit of a different kettle of fish Thursday to Monday. So I certainly wouldn't put him out of the equation for the race victory. Possibly ADHD Jaden as well. I think he's got a very good opportunity to win here in Canada. We're right on board then with Jens, who is doing a flying lap sometimes on this track. Oh, and he's already invalidated. Unfortunately, that is one of the things that is very easily to do. We'll now move on to DRS Syme as he attempts his flying lap. I think he posted about a 1 minute 10, something along those lines. The other day, I think it was only beaten by Boris Johnson, one of Monday night's racers. I think he posted a 1 minute 9 seconds, or 1 minute 9.5, something along them lines. So that would not surprise me. And the J, that's me. I'm ADHD right. Yeah, I'd certainly predict you as one of the favourites to win, absolutely. So we'll stick then with one of my favourites for today, DRS Syme. Let's see what he can produce here on his first flying lap for the Alpine team. And crosses the line with a low 1 minute 10, so 1 minute 10, 4.72. It's certainly beatable. But it's a good start nonetheless. Let's go down to Brad Mason, who was also incredibly quick on Monday night. Keith setting a 1:11.402. He'll be disappointed with that. And Ninja 1:13.3. We're starting to get a few laps in now. Easy Life with a 1:12.9. Both of those drivers can certainly do better than that. But we'll stick with Brad Mason for the time being in the Aston Martin. Let's see what sort of lap time he can produce here as he crosses the line with a 1:11.3. He'll be very, very disappointed with that. Let's go down to Kevin Ver in the Alpha Tauri. Just heading on into the final part of the lap. And executes it very nicely indeed. A little bit of a squiggle there at the end. And crosses the line with a 1:11.2. So still quite a way off the pace. Let's go down to Swanton, and then we'll move on to Smug, one of the league owners. I think he's going to run another lap, try and burn off a little bit more fuel because it's a 1:14.8. Yeah, he's definitely running off a little bit more fuel there. Bunny's just starting his flying lap, so we will go down to him in a minute. I'm trying to find Smug Git, but I think, yeah, he did exactly the same thing as Swanton. He's going to run 2 out laps to burn off some of that excess fuel. And evening Sainsy saying, come on Ninja! Ninja for the win. That's highly unlikely, but maybe certainly a Pro-Am side of things he can certainly do well nonetheless. Going down to Devon, he has invalidated, so he will have to go again. Running on board then with ADHD Jaden, one of my favourites for today's win. Let's see what sort of lap time he can produce. I believe he was last week's winner, although I'll need to double check on that. And he is running for the Williams team this evening, and he is partnered with Ninja MC. Senna at the moment also staying a lap time in the meanwhile with a 1:12.32. Again, I don't think he'll be overly impressed with that. I think he was posting low 1:11s last time round. Possibly even got into the 1:10s. Bunny's Vengeance goes second fastest with a 1:10.507. And ADHD Jaden will take provisional P3 for the time being with a 1:10.673. So the top 3 at the moment very, very close together. The rest of the field, not so much. Swanton off the track after setting a 1:11.279. Let's see what Smug Git can do. No, he's best he said is a 1:12.074. He seemed to struggle a little bit on Monday. But qualifying is not always his jam, but he certainly comes alive when the Grand Prix starts. And it's purple Q2. Sorry, Sector 2, not Q2. Purple Sector 2 for Jens. And in the meanwhile, AMS Devon, the reserve driver, taking provisional P1 at the moment with a 1:10.263. We'll stick on board then with Jens as he crosses the line. Let's see what sort of lap time he can produce. It's a 1:10.427. And that puts him up into provisional P2, just ahead of DRS Syme. Let's go a little bit further down. Smug, I think he'll probably pit. I would have thought. It looks as if he's actually lost his front wing, so he'll definitely be diving into the pits. As Ben Lane just starts his first flying lap of the day. I think Jaden, he's invalidated, but I presume he's probably coming into the pits. We'll ride on board then with Joker, I believe is on a flying lap, not 100% sure here. He may be just, yeah, I think he's probably going to come back into the pits here. Yeah, pretty much 100% sure. Yeah, Joker back into the pits. Let's go down to Ben Lane in the Alfa Romeo and see how he gets on. Currently P15. I tell you what, I was just about to say, see how he gets on, but he has unfortunately invalidated. Bazza 1610 saying, "Come on, Senna." Not sure who Bazza is, but if you let yourself know Bazza, that'll be great. So Ben Lane will be disappointed with that invalidation, and he certainly doesn't seem to have enough fuel to go back round again. The red fuel indicator is flashing. We'll have to dive into the pit lane. Yeah, and as he comes into the pit lane. Easy Life is out on track at the moment. I think Jaden may be on it. Yeah, he's definitely on a flying lap because he is a little bit quicker through Sector 2. Let's see if he can improve on his best time. He's currently residing in a provisional P5 position. Syme ever so slightly slower through Sector 2. He was faster through Sector 1, but slower through Sector 2. He'll be disappointed with that. Jaden really powering on through there, but he did clip that side of that wall. Whether or not that's cost him, it certainly has not. It's a 110.202 for ADHD Jaden. Still not sure if that's going to be enough to put him on pole. Let's go down to DRS Syme, who crosses the line at 110.389. And that's just P3 for Syme at the moment. Go then down to Brad Mason. He's running slower through Sector 1 at the moment. Not a huge amount slower, but it would be enough to make him think about doing another lap. Ninja MC definitely on doing another outlap to try and burn off some excess fuel. Ben Lane already back out on track on his outlap currently. Let's go then to Senna, looking a little bit slower through Sector 1. Whether or not he turns off his ERS and goes again, I think that may well be the case. Certainly looks as if he's trying to regain a little bit of battery life there. At the moment running on 49%. And Keith invalidating on that last flying lap. He'll hope that he's got enough fuel to be able to do another lap. You can certainly improve on the 111.402. Let's go then to Smug Git as he goes through Sector 1 in that Ferrari. Be interesting to see if he gets any quicker this time round. As I said, he seemed to struggle in qualifying on Monday night. Whether or not that was due to invalidations, etc., I'm not overly sure. But at the moment he's certainly looking as if he's going to improve. And Sainty saying going to be a very close quali at this rate. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see somebody in the final run move into about the 1 minute 9.7. I still think there's half a second in it here today. I mean, Boris Johnson proved on Monday night that it can certainly be done, and I wouldn't put it past maybe half of these drivers to be able to produce something along those lines this evening in the extreme version of the DRS Championship. As Smug Git crosses the line, it's a 111.582. Don't think that actually moves him up any spaces, but it is an improvement on his previous best. We'll go down to Swanton, who has put in a faster lap. It's a 110.821. Unfortunately, we did miss that one last time round, but it is an improvement. And you know, that wouldn't have been. That'd probably been about fourth on Monday night. Joker with a 110.734. At the moment, his fastest, but he has just invalidated early on. He'll be disappointed there. We're going down to AMS Devon, who is already 2 tenths faster through Sector 1. At this moment in time, he's looking likely to break that 1 minute 9 barrier. I believe he's one of the faster drivers on the game. I'm pretty sure that is one of the scenarios for him. And again, looking faster through Sector 2. I think he's almost certain to break into the 109 barrier. We have a number of drivers out on track at the moment. We do also have Kevin Ver out on track. And he's about to cross the line. So Kevin Ver in the AlphaTauri crosses the line with a 110.488. A great lap time from him. Puts him up into provisional P5. And AMS Devon then breaks into the 109s. It's a 109.861. Absolutely fantastic from the reserve Alfa Romeo driver this evening. And I still think that time can be beaten. but it's certainly going to be a lot harder this time. We'll go then to Jens in the Ferrari, who's going to dive straight into the pits. I think Joker will most likely go into the pits in the next one, maybe, or no, he's invalidated, so I'm guessing he'll probably either try and reserve his fuel as best he can, or will come back into the pits once again. He's currently in P7, and of course leading the Pro-Am Championship ahead of his brother, DRS Swanson. A bit of a family battle going on for P1 in the Extreme Pro-Am section of the championship. ADHD Jaden then, he is a little bit quicker than through Sector 1. Syme is not... Well, I tell you what, it's because Syme's doing another outlap. That is why. He's trying to burn off some of that excess fuel. I do wonder if some of these drivers are coming a little bit too early, though. Maybe they know something I don't. It does look a little bit cloudy. Perhaps the conditions on the track will actually get progressively worse. Who knows? Let's go then back down to ADHD Jaden, who has every opportunity, if he can hit the perfect lap, to take that pole position away from AMS Devon, who is back in the pits now. It's whether or not he's going to have to come out and do another lap. We'll have to wait and see. It's pretty smooth there by Devon. Little clip on the wall once again. But he crosses the line. It's a 1 minute 9.767. And at the moment, that is provisional pole position. Fantastic lap from ADHD Jaden. Go down to Syme at the moment. It's looking slower as things stand. He won't be happy at all with that. But of course, he didn't get pole position on Monday night, but he certainly came to life during the course of the race. Let's see what he can do now. It's smooth through the final chicane and crosses the line. It's a 110.684. It's not an improvement there. Can this man, your championship, your pro championship leader, can he now potentially steal a pole position away from ADHD Jaden? AMS Devon is back out on track as well, so we will momentarily move up to him as soon as his outlap is complete. Whether or not he's going to get enough time to do 2 outlaps, though, to burn off some of that excess fuel. We'll stick them with Bunny's Vengeance for the time being around the final chicane. And crosses the line. It's a 110.103, puts him up into provisional P3 currently. He'll be pretty pleased with that, I think. Let's go down to DRS Swanton then, in his battle to try and get ahead of his brother. And that's not going to happen. He's a little bit slower there. He might have enough fuel and enough ERS, though, to be able to produce another lap here. Let's go up to Devon, who has invalidated. And he was quicker as well. He was looking quicker, but he has invalidated. I don't think there's going to be enough time. Unfortunately, I can't see the time up on my screen due to the caution Sector 3 sections. 43 seconds left. He should have enough time, Devon, if he puts his foot down, to get back round and produce another lap. Syme now coming into the pits. 4th will be the best he can hope for today. Now 5th, with Jens going 4th fastest with a 110.260. Keith just waiting a little bit longer. I wonder what sort of lap time Swanton's going to have here. The ERS is low. I don't think it's going to be an improvement, but we'll wait and see. Looks quite smooth, though, through the final chicane. Swanson crosses the line. It's a 110.673, and that does put him ahead of his championship rival Joker. So he'll be pleased with that outcome, that's for sure. We'll go down to Brad Mason at the moment, currently struggling down in P11. Quite unlike him, AMS Devon was not able to complete another lap then from the looks of things. So at the moment, ADHD Jaden is taking pole position. We've got Smug and Brad and Easy Life to come around. Is that rain I'm starting to see on the screen? Could well be, but nonetheless, Brad Mason now takes P7. It is rain Rain is starting to come down, and that is why a few drivers got out a little bit earlier. And, that is potentially why we didn't see an improvement on Boris Johnson's lap time from Monday night. I believe it was a 109.5 something. But I'm guessing the track conditions for today's race were slightly worse, especially now with that rain starting to lash down. And it's just DRS Swanton to come back into the pits. But ladies and gentlemen, then, this is how your 15 drivers will be lining up for the Canadian Grand Prix. ADHD Jaden with a fantastic pole position with a 109.767, closely followed by AMS Devon. And then Bunny's Vengeance in third. Jens taking fourth for the Ferrari. DRS Syme taking fifth. Kevin Ver in sixth. Brad Mason in seventh. DRS Swanton taking eighth. And crucially, ahead of his championship rival, Joker. Ben Lane taking 10th. Smugit 11th. Keith in 12th. Senna in 13th. Ninja in 14th. And Easy Life taking 15th. I wonder then if anyone knows if rain is predicted for the main Grand Prix. I'm kind of hoping that it isn't, as this track with the 3 DRS zones, certainly see quite a number of overtaking around here. So let's hope that isn't the case. But there you have it. As I've already been through all the drivers' positions, I won't do it again. But you can certainly see them all on screen now. And of course, don't forget, don't ready up early. Otherwise we'll end up with some form of red flag scenario and a rehost. So if you're listening, don't ready up early. And I'll be back with you momentarily. Thank you. And we're just about to get the proceedings underway. We're starting with a formation lap. Just whilst I get everything all set up here. Let's have a look at everyone's tyre choices then this evening. So your pole sitter ADHD Jaden starting on the hards, Devin on the mediums, Bunnies on the mediums, Jens on the hards, Sime on the hards, Kevin Ver on the hards, Brad Mason on the mediums, Swanton, Joker and Ben Lane all on the hards, Smug Git starting on the mediums, so he'll be hoping to overtake and get past the three drivers ahead of him early on, otherwise that may cost him over the course of this Grand Prix. Keith starting on the hards, Senna on the mediums, Ninja on the mediums, Easy Life on the mediums, and BRT Jacob, who has joined us for the race, will be starting on the medium compound tyre as well. And Bazza saying, good luck everyone. Instead, I'm not overly sure who Bazza is, but thank you very much for joining us this evening, Bazza. Of course, I'm filling in this evening for Blobby Butler, who's enjoying, well, potentially enjoying, I haven't actually looked at the score lines. He is over watching the Rangers Europa League game, so I hope he's having a good evening. In fact, he probably won't be having a good evening as they are currently 1-0 down to Aris Limassol. Yeah, so he won't be overly pleased with that. I will run through the scores in a few laps' time as well, or under a safety car. We've had a few people disqualified. But hopefully the old formation lap glitch won't come into play, as we are momentarily about to start the Extreme DRS Canadian Grand Prix. I think everyone is now in position and we're almost ready to go here. As the lights trickle down. And we're away here for the DRS Extreme Canadian Grand Prix. And AMS Devin already into the lead then. It's a smooth overtake on ADHD Jaden. He had to get round him quite quickly as he is on the medium compound tyre. ADHD Jaden and Jens both on the hard compound. Looks as if Ninja has got ahead of Jacob perhaps. Senna has got ahead of Smug Gid as well. So it's a very good start. And then Jaden dropping another position there to the Ferrari of Jens. And the Mercedes of Bunny's Vengeance has also dropped a position as well, I believe. Jens having a really good start to this Grand Prix. But I tell you what, the man who is leading, AMS Devin, already pulling 1.5 seconds clear already. Let's go to Bunny's Vengeance. Very, very close behind. Of course, we won't have DRS available for the next 3 laps or so. A bit of locking up there from Jaden. Smugget, in the meantime, has got round Keith. We'll go down to Brad Mason, just 2 tenths behind. In fact, let's go to Bunny's Vengeance, battling hard here with ADHD Jaden. And Jaden has gone from pole position down to 4th on the opening lap. Things are not going well for the Williams driver. He'll be absolutely kicking himself following this start to the Grand Prix. And Bunny's Vengeance, your championship leader, is now up into 3rd place. Very good overtake as well. Brad Mason all over the back of DRS Sime. They had a good competitive battle on Monday night. And Miller Vanilla saying, how many safety cars are we calling? I think there'll be just the one this evening. I think 1 safety car, and I think we'll probably lose 1 or 2 drivers. I don't think it'll be too many. Brad Mason really, really close now behind DRS Sime. Can't remember if Brad is a pro or a pro-am in this. I'll have to look momentarily. But he's having a good few battles with Sime and Swanton on the Monday night version of DRS. I believe he finished 3rd on Monday night, with Sime taking the victory. And they're very, very close once again. Joker, in the meantime, has got ahead of his brother and rival for the Pro-Am Championship, DRS Swanton. So Swanton now dropping down to 9th, Joker up to 8th. Unfortunately, I did miss that, but it's quite difficult at the very beginning. And AMS Devon with a 1:13.463. It's the fastest lap so far of this Grand Prix. DRS has now been enabled. Let's go to Brad Mason and his battle with Syme. Did they touch there? Not overly sure if they did. Brad Mason's got to get around him quickly, being on those mediums, and he has now managed to overtake Kevin Ver, picking up the first 3-second time penalty of the day. We go down to Syme. He's trying to battle hard here with Brad Mason. It's going to be a bit of a DRS train going on here. I think Kevin Ver could just be about to lose a couple of positions. He moves to the right and then moves to the left. He's not really allowed to do that. That is something that will have to be looked at by the stewards. You can't defend like that. Once you've made the one move, you can't make another move. Brad Mason does gain the position. And then Syme losing out as well, nearly to Joker. But actually, in the meantime, Syme pretty much... No, he doesn't get ahead of him. I thought he had. And in fact, Joker has now managed to get ahead of Syme here. Joker up into P7. And Kevin Ver has reclaimed P7 from Syme. Joker up to P5, and Brad Mason is out of this Grand Prix, and it is a full safety car. Unfortunately, I missed Brad Mason's incident there, but I get the feeling he probably won't be overly happy. So as things stand then, let's have a look at the positional change scenarios here. AMS Devon up 1 position, Jens up 2, Bunny's Vengeance remains in P3, Jaden dropping down 3 positions, Joker having an absolutely fantastic start to this Grand Prix, and he's up 4 places already. Kevin Ver in 6th, and he remains in the position that he started in. DRS Swanton up 1 position, Ben Lane up 2, Syme has dropped down 4, he'll be really disappointed with his start. But I think a lot of it had to do with his battles with Kevin Ver and Brad Mason. Senna is up 3. He's having a really good Grand Prix so far. Smugget remains in 11th. Ninja up 2. Keith down 1. Easy Life and Jacob both up 1 respectively. Of course, whilst we're waiting for the safety car scenario to be over, let's quickly run you through Thursday night's Europa League, Europa Conference League scorelines. AEK Athens 0, Brighton 1. That puts Brighton through to the next round of the Europa League. Atalanta 1, Sporting Lisbon 1. Baka Topala, never heard of them, 0. West Ham 1, but it was a late goal by Thomas Soucek. Managed to get them the win. Maccabi Haifa 0, Ron 3. SC Freiburg 5, Olympiacos 0. SK Putengama Sturm Graz 0. Rako Czechoslovakia 1, Sparta Prague 1, Real Betis 0. Latest scorelines now. Hacken 0, Bayer Leverkusen 1, Liverpool 2, Lask 0, Marseille 2, Ajax 2, Mulder 0, Karabag 1. Of course, the scoreline that Blobby is interested in, he's currently watching at Ibrox, is currently Rangers 0, Haris Limassol 1. They'll be disappointed with that one. Servette 0, Roma 1. Sheriff Tiraspol 0, Slavia Prague 1. I believe, was it not Sheriff who managed to beat Real Madrid, or certainly give them a good game in last season's Champions League, and then the Europa League this season. Toulouse 0, Union Saint-Gilles 0, and Villarreal 2, Panathinaikos 0. I won't go through all the scorelines for the Europa Conference League, but the scorelines may matter to a few of you. HJK 2, Aberdeen 2. Then we've got Villa 1, Legia Warsaw 1. A bit of a shock on the cards there. So moving on back to this Grand Prix, we're still under safety car conditions. Miller Vanilla saying he thinks there's going to be 3 this evening. Goodness me, I hope not. Don't know if anyone has pitted. Let's have a look. No, nobody deciding to go in and change any of their tyres. I wonder if I was a medium compound runner, whether or not I would have taken the chance, gone in, chucked on a set of hards, run as long as possible, and then right at the end come in and put on a set of softs. These tyres, they certainly don't last too long here, and I certainly found that the rears didn't last long at all, especially on the hard compound tyre at the beginning of the Grand Prix. I know certain drivers are running higher rear wings, which of course is a cause for degradation on those rear tyres. Got to look after them as best as they can. Safety car is in this lap then. Race control have just confirmed. We should be able to get back underway soon. As things stand, Devin leading the way, followed by Jens, Bunny's Vengeance, ADHD Jaden, Joker, Kevin Ver, Swanton, Ben Lane, Syme, Senna, Smugkit, Ninja, Easy Life, BRT Jacob, and Keith. Unfortunately, we have lost Brad Mason. I wonder if he's disclosed anything within the Discord chat as to what's happened. I should have checked that earlier, really, but and it could be something to do with Joker, according to the Discord chat, but I'm sure the stewards will look at it nonetheless. Oh, Jens nearly losing it there as the safety car now comes back in. Devin already pulling out a bit of a lead on Jens, who had a bit of a squeaky start there. Let's go down to Joker. Oh, Joker's gone into the back of Kevin Ver there. And yeah, that certainly have to be looked at by the stewards. Not an ideal overtake at all. Maybe should have been a little bit more patient. Maybe just mistimed the braking. Syme then now battling hard with Joker, trying to reclaim a position lost earlier. At the moment, Swanton's really made the most of that safety car scenario and has moved himself up into P5. And at the moment, he certainly stands a good chance of going ahead of Joker in the battle for the Pro-Am Extreme Championship. DRS Syme then looks as if he's going to get a much better exit and entrance into that turn. And he should have the straight line speed, I would have thought, to get round Joker, but it all depends on their wing setup here. Both of them battling hard here, the Alpine and the McLaren. And the McLaren manages, even after that poor exit, manages to keep ahead. Let's go then back up to the battle for P3 then, with ADHD Jaden all over the back of Bunnies. I suspect those hards are now going to come into play now, with many of the medium runners starting to feel their tyres starting to fall off a cliff. Swanton then is 2.6 seconds behind Jaden at the moment, but he is leading the way in the Pro-Am section of the championship in today's Grand Prix. DRS Syme still over half a second now behind Joker. He may be just trying to wait as long as possible in regards to getting that DRS available to him. Senna now all over the back of BRT Jacob, but I think Jacob has just recently just taken that position off of Senna. He's certainly one of the quicker drivers in this league, BRT Jacob. Senna, one of the newer drivers, but has made massive strides in recent weeks, improving on both Monday night and now Thursday night as well. DRS has now been enabled by the stewards. We'll go down to Easy Life then and his battle with Keith. He's had a bit of a poor exit out of the final chicane, and Kevin Ver will go back ahead of him. He'll be a little bit disappointed, Kevin Ver. He had a bit of contact with Joker. Syme now, in the meantime, has now managed to get past Joker with that DRS available to him. Senna picking up a 3-second time penalty in the meantime. Let's go then back to Ben Lane. His battle now with DRS Swanson. He's going to have the DRS available to him. And as you can see at the top there, AMS Devin is starting to pull out a bit of a gap now on Jens. It was just 0.4. It's now over a second. So he will be clear of that DRS zone for the time being. Still following on with the battle between Ben Lane and Swanton. In the meantime, Joker dropping a position there to Jacob and then reclaiming it, but I will stick with this one for the... Actually, no, we can't. We're going to have to go. BRT Jacob has gained that position. Ben Lane falling a little bit further back from Swanton there. I'm guessing he didn't get a very good exit there. Let's go then battle again between Joker and Jacob. Jacob now all over the back of DRS Syme as well. And of course, you've got to remember, poor Jacob, he joined late on, no qualifying, and had to settle for a default setup, so he's doing incredibly well to battle with some of these drivers today. We've got the yellow flags out in Sector 1. Doesn't look as if anyone's... Oh, and it is a Mercedes of Bunny's Vengeance then, dropping down the grid. He must have had a bit of a spin, or perhaps somebody tapped his rear. So I'll be looking to keep pace with BRT Jacob then. Jacob, though, seemingly on fresher tyres. That might be why he's getting a little bit more pace here. He's on 6.5 old mediums. So I'm guessing then he must have pitted, I would have thought. Although it didn't come up with anything. Yeah, he has pitted. Both him and Keith have now pitted for fresh rubber. So Ben Lane now just under half a second behind. It's now less than that. He will have the DRS available to him. He's got a long straight in which to overtake Swanton here. DRS active, ERS available to him. He will have the inside line, but seemingly backs out there, and Swanton manages to retain P4 for just a little bit longer. I'll tell you what, in the meantime as well, Jacob absolutely flying overtakes Ben Lane for P5. Jens picking up a 3-second time penalty. Oh, he'll be absolutely kicking himself with that. That could really cost him come the end of this Grand Prix if he has any hopes of winning here today in the Canadian Extreme DRS Championship. Let's go, let's drop down a little bit. Let's go to Smug-Git. He's just over half a second behind. In fact, no, let's go back up to Syme. He has got the DRS available to him to try and make a manoeuvre on Ben Lane. He's just a little bit too far behind. These four now from Swanton down is very, very close indeed. In fact, I'd say 5. In fact, maybe even 6 or 7 are very, very close out on track at the moment. Let's go then to Jacob now. He does have a lot of straight line speed. I think this manoeuvre will be quite easy. And it is. Jacob now up to P4. What a race he's having. He is absolutely flying out there. Nearly making contact with the wall there. Swanton now a little bit defenceless against Ben Lane with no DRS available to him on this one. Keith picking up a 3-second time penalty in the meantime. Easy Life has pitted. He's come out on a set of hards. I'm guessing then most of these drivers today, I'm sure, will be trying to run the two-stopper. Will potentially go for the two-stopper. Sorry, getting a bit tongue-tied there. Maybe the likes of Swanton, Ben Lane, Simon, Joker may go for the one-stopper. You can possibly include Jaden and Jens in that remit as well. Ben Lane a little bit squeaky there. We'll go to Syme, who's right behind him, but there is, unfortunately for him, a bit of a DRS train about to occur here. Now, will Swanton have DRS available to him? I think he won't. No, he's far too far behind. Is now this the opportunity for Ben Lane? I tell you what, it's seemingly more of an opportunity for DRS Syme, as he absolutely flies round Ben Lane there. And Syme is up into P6, and now just behind his teammate, DRS Swanton. Fantastic move from the lead Alpine driver. And in the meantime as well, Keith goes round Smug, but Smug has just dived into the pits and is coming out on a fresh set of mediums. We'll go to ADHD Jaden then, who is now really, really close. Oh, and Jens makes contact with the wall there. And ADHD Jaden will surely now just jump straight ahead of the Ferrari and retake P2. He's on a bit of a recovery drive following a bit of a first lap disaster, where he was on pole position and dropped down to 4th. He's now got 6 seconds or so to catch up AMS Devin. That'll be easier said than done. I don't think it'll be too long before we see Devin dive into the pits. Let's go then to DRS Syme, who's battling hard with his teammate Swanton. Will either driver back down here? Syme takes the position. DRS Syme up into 5th place. It's another good overtake from last season's Extreme Pro-Am Drivers Champion. This season, of course, in the Pro Drivers section. And, of course, he's leading Monday nights as well, ahead of his teammate, DRS Swanton. So Ben Lane just a little bit further back from Swanton. Just wonder how much longer he can hold on to that P6. Especially with Bunny's Vengeance in hot pursuit behind as well. In fact, we'll go down to Bunny's. Bunny's looks more likely to overtake Ben Lane than Ben Lane on Swanton at the moment. Fortunately for Bunny's, though, again, as I said with Syme earlier, there will be a little bit of a DRS train going on here. It all depends on who gets the better exit out of this one. Ben Lane seemingly getting a pretty good exit, but as did Swanton. Ben Lane not close enough behind. Doesn't seem to have that straight line speed of the rest of the drivers on the grid. I'm guessing opting for a higher wing setting, and it's just not working for him at the moment. A bit more of a gap now starting to form between the 4 of them. Syme now pulling out at just over a second lead of his teammate Swanton in his pursuit of Jacob and Jens. I wonder if Jens sustained any damage. I don't think he did. Smug gets setting a new fastest lap of the race at 1:13 dead. And Jens just under a second behind ADHD Jaden. Jaden starting to fall even further behind AMS Devin. In fact, he's 7.3 seconds behind. Ninja diving into the pits then, coming out on a fresh set of hards. Will he be able to push them 20 laps? Quite possibly, with the lower fuel load. Now, will Bunnies get a better exit here? This is what it needs to be able to get past Ben Lane, I think, here with, as I said, the DRS train up ahead. Ben Lane did get a better exit this time round, but as I said before, he just doesn't seem to have the straight line speed available to him. Jens getting closer and closer to ADHD Jaden, but it's still not quite enough. Let's go back to Ben Lane now. Battling hard with Swanton, but he just cannot get round him. He almost needs to overtake him on one of these corners. Of course, we know that can be extremely difficult around this Canadian street circuit. I'm really surprised Bunny's Vengeance hasn't been able to mount any form of assault on the drivers ahead of him, but perhaps that's because his tyres are 15 laps old. Now the medium compounds. In fact, he's done a really good job getting them as far as what they have. Of course, we did have an earlier safety car due to Brad Mason. Unfortunately, not finishing the Grand Prix. I believe there may have been contact with Joker. Let's go back up to Jens. He's just not close enough behind and lost it a little bit there. Jacob now starting to home in now on the Ferrari ahead of him. Swanton too far back from Syme to really make any sort of manoeuvre. And it's the same with Ben Lane. Bunnies is closer this time round, but again staying out on those 16 lap old mediums. Devin and Bunnies doing a really incredible job running those mediums as long as possible. I'm guessing they'll be going for the one-stop strategy this evening, going on the set of hards. Smug Git in the meantime has managed to overtake Keith for the position. Let's go down to Senna. having another good race in that Red Bull. Again, I don't think anyone's likely to make any sort of manoeuvre here. Ninja picking up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. I don't think it's going to affect his race too much come the end of this Grand Prix. Surprisingly enough. And Jacob then overtaking Jens, but Jens does dive into the pits, as does DRS Syme. Bunny's Vengeance also into the pits as well. He also, in the meantime, picked up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. He'll be kicking himself there. Jens now coming out on a fresh set of mediums. He'll have to push them about 17 laps to finish this Grand Prix. It's already been proved that it's certainly doable. Like Bunny's, oh, sorry, I thought Bunny's had come into the pits, but I don't think he has. No, he's still out on those set of mediums, as is AMS Devon. 17 lap old mediums, that's absolutely incredible. Those tyres must be screaming. I wouldn't be surprised to see one of them pick up some form of puncture. This man here doing an absolutely incredible job. In first place on 17 lap old mediums, and the drivers behind not able to mount any sort of attack on him. And still setting lap times in the remits of 1:14s. So not bad at all, especially now on 18 lap old medium tyres. And Bunny's Vengeance now in the meantime looking to make the manoeuvre on Ben Lane. And he does have the inside line, should go into turn 1. Ben Lane leaves just about enough room, and Bunny's Vengeance then up into P5. It's a good overtaking manoeuvre from the Mercedes on the Alfa Romeo. And he'll be looking to close the gap, certainly on Jacob and Jaden in his pursuit of the Extreme Championship. I believe it's only Mansis so far that's won that title, but he's not racing this season. I'm sure much to Bunny's delight, really, if anything. Although they did run each other quite close last season. Let's go down to Jens, and he is on fresh rubber. He's got Kevin Ver ahead of him on some very, very old, hard compound tyres. Would he look to make the move now? I think he needs to wait, really. Oh, he's got the inside line. It is actually a really good overtaking move from the Ferrari. And in turn, maybe now gives his teammate DRS Smugkit the opportunity to overtake. Although, having said that, Syme is all over the back of him. Will he go for the double overtake here? He does! That is... Oh, and there is contact there. Kevin Ver and Syme, big coming together there. I don't really think that was Syme's fault, though. I just don't think Kevin Ver saw him there, in all honesty. But of course, these things will be looked at. It's a drive-through penalty, speeding under safety car for Ninja. Seems a bit harsh. I don't even think the safety car's been out 15 seconds yet, so that seems a little bit bizarre. Of course, if you're listening, Ninja, do record that. Kevin Ver's certainly been quite unlucky this evening. Hopefully it didn't cause too much damage to Smuggle, though it must have done, as he's had to dive into the pits. He's coming out on a fresh set of softs. He's got the Williams of Ninja alongside him. I think he's got to let Ninja go. No, perhaps not. I'm guessing now, yeah, Devin certainly will dive into the pits now. I'm pretty sure Jacob, Jaden will all do the same here. One thing I would say, with Devin coming out on a set of hard... Oh, he's coming out on softs. Devin is coming out on softs. He's surely not going to be able to push those softs 15 laps, though, surely. And Miller Valilla saying, that's 2! And meaning safety cars. Miller, I'm not sure... I mean, I had it just about on screen there. What was your opinion of the Syme Kevin Ver coming together there? I think it was more of a case of Kevin just not seeing Syme up the inside. I don't think Syme seemed to move across. But of course, you know, without cockpit views it can be quite difficult to tell what's happened, but from the live feed it did seem as if it was just a case of Kevin Ver unfortunately not quite seeing Syme next to him, perhaps not expecting it almost. Looked as if it was going to be a really good double overtake from Syme. And Syme is now back into the pits. I presume he's had to have a new front wing. Milov saying, I'll be honest, I was distracted by EastEnders at the time. Brilliant. Tell me, Miller, is Phil Mitchell still going? Or has he been killed off like the rest of them? So a great way to end that TV programme would be just dropping one big old nuclear bomb on it. That would be a way to end that rubbish. Let's have a look at the penalty scenario then. So, oh my goodness me, Jacob then having a drive-through penalty. I missed that at the moment. So Devin has a 3-second penalty. Jaden has nothing. Jacob with a drive-through. Jens 3 seconds. Bunnies, Senna and Joker 3 seconds. Ninja drive-through. Keith 3 seconds. And Easy Life 6 seconds. So the penalties are going to make a massive, massive difference come the end of this Grand Prix. And just whilst we're waiting for this safety car, we'll do a couple of the latest score lines once again. But only the score lines that really matter. So the latest in the Liverpool game, still Liverpool 2, Lask 0. And Blobby will be really unhappy as it is half-time at Ibrox. Rangers 0, Aris Limassol 1. Moving on to the Conference League, Aston Villa 1, Legia Warsaw 1, and that score is also half-time. Yeah, seemingly, I think there's a bit of a drive-through. Safety car drive-through glitch. Safety car is back in from the looks of things, so we will get things back underway momentarily with Devin leading the way, but he's going to have to try and pull out a 3-second lead over Jaden. And of course the only problem for Devin is he's going to have to pit again, surely, on those softs. But then he did run those mediums for quite a length previously. But we're back underway then. Smugget already overtaking Keith. Just trying to get as much as I can on the stream for you all. So Smugget up to P11. He's got DRS Syme ahead of him. Of course, Smugget is on those fresh softs. Syme battling hard with Joker here. Will he be able to make another overtaking move? These two have battled quite a bit throughout this Grand Prix. And Syme makes the move. Looks as if almost Joker did kind of yield there. And in the process, Smug has also gained the position as well. A little bit of contact there between Smug and Joker. Nothing too major though. But, Smug making the most of that and moving up to P10. Devin already pulling out a little bit of a lead, and Joker then into the side of Smug, and in the process I think the Aston Martin of Keith went into the back of Smug there. It's all happening. Jens now taking P3. That's because Jacob's having to serve his drive-through, unfortunately for him. So Devin pulling 1.1 seconds ahead of Jaden. But I tell you, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a huge amount. Bearing in mind Jaden hasn't got a pit again. And Devin has a 3-second time penalty. And Syme now also has a 3-second time penalty. Picked it up just a moment ago. Bunnies then will also have to pit again. I presume Swanton will as well. Smug will. Jacob will. I really do feel sorry for Jacob. Especially with that added drive-through penalty. I think there is a bit of a drive-through glitch there. So Syme now really, really close and battling hard here with Senna. Syme takes the inside line and gets the position from the Red Bull of Senna. It's a magnificent overtaking manoeuvre. And Syme now back up into P7. He'll just be kicking himself with that 3-second time penalty, though it's very, very easily done. I myself picked up 9 seconds on Monday night. DRS has now been enabled. Jens picks up the new fastest lap of the race, a 1:12.359. Pretty quick from the Ferrari driver. Swanton just under a second behind Bunny's Vengeance in the Mercedes. Go down to the battle between Smugkit and Joker. The Joker then regaining that position. Unfortunately, I missed that one, but Joker picking up a 3-second time penalty. Is that a full safety car? I think it is. It is a full safety car. Jacob is out of this Grand Prix. Miller Vanilla, that is right. I believe that is now the 3rd safety car of this Grand Prix. That may actually serve a few of these drivers quite well. The likes of Devin, Bunnies, Swanton, Smug, who can now all dive into the pits again. As can Senna. Senna can now realistically chuck on a fresh set of softs with just the 10 laps to go. And Jacob saying in the Discord, well, that was a fun setup. That was awful. I actually think you did a really good job. I think you raced really well. Bearing in mind you had the default setup, I think you can be quite proud of what you did this evening. Unfortunately, the DNF, the drive-through, I don't think you'd a DNF without the drive-through. So it's tough, very, very tough. And Miller saying, us Monday drivers putting the Thursday boys to shame. Well, what can we say? We're absolutely excellent at what we do. And Bazza saying, loving the additional football comms, King Kong. Thank you, Bazza. Still need to know who you are, Bazza. So then Senna pits for softs. Joker pits for softs. Smugkit pits for hards. Wow. Guess he's just run out of tyres. Keith on softs. Easy Life. Softs. Ninja. Softs. Devin's staying out, surprisingly. I thought he'd actually have come in there. Same with Swanton. I thought he'd have come in. But he's staying out, as is Bunnies. I definitely would have come in and chucked on some fresh softs, if, of course, they had any. I think best place to win this Grand Prix is this man here. ADHD Jaden. He took pole position. At the moment, he's... only him and Swanton in the top 5 don't have any form of penalty. The penalty scenario is this. Devin 3 seconds, Jens 3 seconds, and Bunny's Vengeance 3 seconds. Devin running on 5-lap-old softs, soon to be 6. Jaden on 5-lap-old mediums, soon to be 6. Jens on 8-lap, well, we'll say 9-lap-old mediums. Bunny's Vengeance on 6-lap-old softs. Swanton on 6-lap-old softs. I think it's going to be close. Looks as if Ben Lane is now diving into the pits. He's going to come out on a fresh set of softs, I presume. Yeah, coming out on softs. And serving a penalty as... No, it was just a bit of a delay there. And Smugkit now coming in for another set of softs. I presume they didn't put the right tyres on last time round. And Bazza now just confirming, hey King Kong, I'm Senna's missus. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Bazza. Well, that sounds like your name should be Barry. I'm not sure that's overly a woman's name, but thank you, Bazza, for joining us this evening. So just going through the list then again, I still can't see them softs. of Devin going to the end, although he did run those mediums a hell of a long time in the previous stint, and race control has just confirmed that the safety car is back in this lap. We're going to have about 7 laps of full racing, about 4 laps under DRS conditions, if of course we don't see any further safety cars. Devin is going to have to get a really good start here if he is going to win the DRS Extreme Canadian Grand Prix. I think that 3-second time penalty and the tyres that he is on is going to potentially put pay to any chance of a Grand Prix win today. But it does look as if he's got a really good start, Devin. He's nearly a second clear of the pole sit already. It's a really good start. And in the process as well, Ben Lane now battling hard with Easy Life. Will he claim P10 at the first turn? He does. Ben Lane up into P10 at the first turn, overtaking Easy Life there. Let's go down to Bunny's Vengeance, who's really close behind Jens. He did make contact with the wall there, though. Jens on 10-lap-old mediums, Bunny's on 7-lap-old softs. We'll just see, though, if they can get those softs to the end. I think it's a really big ask. They're going to be about 14 laps old by the end of this Grand Prix. I wouldn't have even wanted to have pushed mediums 14 laps around this track. Whether or not you've got a full load of fuel or half a tank of fuel, I think it's going to absolutely crucify those tyres. And don't be surprised to see any form of punctures either. Smugget's had a few of them in the past, certainly around Bahrain, I believe, I think it's happened twice, or Spain, one or the other. The Bunny's now really close behind Jens, but of course no DRS available to him just yet. We've got another couple of laps to go before that is re-enabled by the stewards. In the meantime, Smugget then goes round Ninja. He's a little bit aggressive there into the final chicane. Ninja may have clipped that one. Ben Lane right behind Keith then, just over half a second. Let's go back up to Bunnies. I think this is probably the closest battle out on track at the moment. Oh, Bunnies losing the back end. Now, is that cause for concern? He's got another 6 laps left to run on these soft compound tyres. I just don't see them going to the end. Or if they do, they're going to be absolutely screaming and useless. Now, don't be surprised if this man potentially gets P4 from the rest of them. He's got Swanton ahead of him now, his teammate. Will his teammate bow down to pressure and move out the way for him? He's not that type of person. And of course they are both competing on Monday nights as well. Both competing for the championship on Monday nights. It is very close between the pair of them. DRS has now been enabled. We're going to have about 5 laps or so with the DRS active. I thought it was going to be 4, but I got my calculations wrong there. We're going to see 5 laps of it. I wouldn't be surprised to see this man take P4. I really wouldn't. I think those mediums are just going to hold out a bit longer than those softs. We'll stick with this one for now. In fact, no, we will go to Bunnies, who, if he is going to get round Jens, is going to have to do it soon. Smugget picks up a 3-second time penalty. I think that's his first one. The DRS is active now for the Mercedes driver. Jens, it's not good from Jens there. That really isn't. Double move again. I feel as if there, though, he did yield the position. Perhaps the stewards will take a little bit more kindly there to that one, because it did look as if he did eventually yield the position. In the meantime, Joker makes it round Senna. Though Senna still battling hard there. Swanton seemingly moving out the way for his teammate there. His teammate did have DRS available to him. Joker absolutely flies past the pair of them. Joker now up into P5. Jens picks up another 3-second time penalty. What a double overtake by Joker there. Unfortunately, I didn't catch the whole thing. But it is a really good overtaking manoeuvre. Very daring, but it certainly paid dividends at the end. Ninja picking up another 3-second time penalty then. think what Swanton needs to do, though, is I think his main goal now will be to not pick up any time penalties. I think with Joker's, he's not really going to be able to compete with him. Joker's got 5-lap-old softs, Swanton running on 10-lap-old softs. It's going to be completely different between the pair of them. But what a double overtaking manoeuvre there from Joker. That'll have to go down as one of the overtakes of the day. Syme pulled off something very, very similar earlier, but unfortunately it did result in Kevin Ver going out of the Grand Prix. Although I don't think he did a lot wrong, if I'm being honest. From what I saw on the stream, of course everything looks different in the cockpit view. And the stewards will review it afterwards. Going into Syme, he does have the DRS available to him. Joker does not, but Joker just looks a hell of a lot quicker down those straights. And the DRS activated again for Syme. Gets close, but not close enough to even contemplate making a manoeuvre there, and almost losing the back end there. Swanton sticking very, very close to his teammate. And I tell you what a drive from this man, Senna, up into P8 at the moment. Oh, Syme must have had something go wrong there, because he's dropped all the way down to P10. What on earth happened there? I'm not overly sure whether or not it was contact with his teammate, Swanton, or if he just mucked up the corner there. Now, Will Senna, who is on 6-lap-old softs, 3-second time penalty for DRS Syme as well there. Will Senna, who is on much fresher softs than Swanton, he might be able to mount an attack here. Swanton over a second behind Joker. So Senna will have the DRS available to him. Swanton will not. In the process as well, Ben Lane trying as hard as he can to overtake Keith, but he just doesn't have that straight line speed. I think he may have got his setup completely wrong this evening. Looks as if Keith is actually now starting to close in on Senna, the Aston Martin on the Red Bull. We've got just over 2 laps to go here. And at the moment, it'll be ADHD Jaden taking the Grand Prix win. That's 1.3 seconds behind him. But of course, Devin does have a 3-second time penalty. What Swanton needs to do here is just stick under the 3-second bracket between himself and Joker, and he will take P5, possibly even P4. We need to just have a look at the penalty scenario. In fact, he's only got to stick 6 seconds between Jens and Joker at the moment, and he will take P4, Swanton, so it's looking good for him at the moment. We'll stick with the penalty scenario now, as the Grand Prix is heading into the final echelons. We're just about to start the penultimate lap with AMS Devin, but I tell you what, Jaden is now starting to home in on him. He's getting closer. Swanton picks up a 3-second time penalty. That may cost him, you know. That may cost him. We've got 2 laps or so left to go. If Joker can pull 3 seconds clear, if Jens can pull 3 seconds to go, I tell you what, Devin, that's now his race well and truly over. That's now 6 seconds worth of penalties for him. It is now surely, without a shadow of a doubt, going to be a win for ADHD Jaden, barring any mishaps on the last couple of laps. Let's go to Ben Lane, battling hard with Keith here. See what, Ben stands to claim a few positions here as well. He's the only driver, well, both him and Jaden are the 2 only drivers out on track without any form of penalty. What a job they're both doing in that respect. Jaden now about 1.5 seconds behind him, but he won't care. He's just got to nurse that car to the end now. Joker getting closer behind Jens. He's about half a second back on him. And Jens is not far off of Bunny's vengeance, but of course Jens has an extra 3 seconds worth of penalties. We're in the final lap then of the Canadian Grand Prix, which is currently being led by AMS Devon. Just over 1.1 seconds clear of Jaden, but of course he will have 6 seconds added on to his final position. At the moment he only stands to take P2. At the moment Jaden is set to win here in Canada, following a magnificent pole position from him as well. Let's then go down to Senna. What a result this would be for him. Ninja picking up another 3-second time penalty. That is now 9 seconds for the Ninja. But what a drive from this man Senna this evening. Really, really good job. Competing with the likes of Swanson, Joker, Ben Lane, Keith. Doing a really, really sound job. Ninja picking up another 3 seconds. That's now 12 in total for him. So Devon will cross the line as the race winner. But it'll be Jaden who picks up the Grand Prix win thanks to those 6 seconds worth of penalties. And what a win for him, and very, very well deserved. Bunnies takes third. Swanton. No, Ben Lane. Wow. Ben Lane takes P4. And that is all down to the fact that he didn't pick up any penalties at all. What a smashing job he did. Swanton takes P5. Jens P6. Senna P7. What a drive from him. Keith P8. Joker only taking P9 following all them penalties. Syme taking P10. He'll be really, really disappointed and gutted with what ended up happening in his race. Smug Git taking P11 again. Another driver that'll be disappointed with the outcome of this Grand Prix. Ninja taking P12. Easy Life P13. And unfortunately Jacob, Kevin Vare and Brad Mason were unable to complete the Grand Prix due to issues with certain drivers out on track this evening. But what a win for this man here, ADHD Jaden. I believe that's 2 wins in a row now for him. Driver of the day given out by the game to Ben Lane. I think, yeah, thoroughly deserved. A great performance from him. Momentarily, we will see the Williams driver of Jaden coming out and doing a little funky little dance before going on there. But a really, really good performance from him. And as the champagne starts to flow, Jaden, the Alfa Romeo of Devon, and Bunny's Vengeance all celebrate their fantastic podium achievements this evening. So then the final grid order then. Jaden takes P1, Devon P2, Bunny's Vengeance P3, Ben Lane P4, and the fastest lap of the day with a 1:12.292. So that's an extra point for him, I believe. Swanson taking P5. He'll be really, really pleased with that. Jens P6, Senna P7. What a drive from him. Keith P8, Joker P9, Syme P10, Smugget P11, Ninja P12, Easy Life P13, and unfortunately Jacob, Kevin Vare and Brad Mason unable to finish the Grand Prix. So that is now another week, another race completed here in the Extreme Championship. We're getting ever so close now to the end of the season. I believe there's only another 3 races to go. We've got round 10, 11 and 12. And then there'll be a new champion crowned. I think my betting is certainly going to have to go on Bunny's Vengeance. He comes third today as another good win for him. In terms of the Pro-Am Championship, I think it is a straight-up battle between the 2 brothers of Joker and Swanton. Smugit will look to move his way into it come the end of the Grand Prix. But I'd like to thank you all very much for joining me this evening. I've been King Kong 1471, and from Monday, Blobby Butler will be back in town, and I believe he'll also be doing next Thursday as well, much to, I'm sure, everyone's delight. Thank you very much, and good night.